Ambassador Grace Koh joined the U.S. State Department in 2019. She recently led the U.S. delegation to the International Telecommunication Union's World Radio Conference to negotiate how the world will use spectrum for new technologies. 5G, the fifth generation of wireless technology, is estimated to generate $2.2 trillion in new growth globally over the next 15 years. She is a Philadelphia native and a graduate of the University of Pennsylvania Law School. She's excited to be back in her hometown to share her experiences with us.
네, 그레이스 고 대사님은 작년 2019년부터 미국 국무부에서 일하고 계십니다. 최근 국제통화노동조합의 세계 라디오 컨퍼런스에서 새로운 기술 분야, 즉 세계적으로 약 2조 2천억 원 이상의 성장을 일으킬 것으로 예상되는 제5세대 무선기술, 즉 5G를 세계적으로 앞으로 어떻게 이용할 수 있는지를 협상하는 미국 대표부를 이끌기도 했습니다. 그레이스 고 대사님은 필라델피아 출신으로 유펜대 법대를 졸업하셨습니다. 모처럼 고향에 돌아와 본인의 경험을 나눌 수 있는 그런 기회를 갖게 된 것을 매우 기쁘게 생각한다고 하십니다. 그레이스 고 대사님을 큰 박수로 환영해 주시기 바랍니다.
Good morning. Thank you so much for coming out today. I hope you're as excited as I am to be here in Philadelphia to celebrate Korean American Day. And what a great way to celebrate the diversity of the culture here in this beautiful city, my very own hometown, where I learned to love eating cheesesteaks and soft pretzels right alongside with kalbi and kimchi. Philadelphia is a great place to grow up and to gain a deep understanding of what it means to live in this magnificent multicultural society that is America. So thank you to Councilman Oh for your leadership in bringing us together to remember how we all contribute to this great country. And thank you, of course, to Councilman Oh's staff for making this a reality. It's quite an honor to be able to speak with you today. In August of last year, I was named the United States ambassador to a major United Nations treaty conference. It's called the World Radio Communication Conference. I won't go into too much technical detail about the conference itself. Suffice it to say that the conference negotiated how the world will use spectrum for new technologies. Spectrum is an essential input into many services, television, radio, mobile phone services, also radar, satellite, and wireless power transfers. But in very simple terms, I'm proud to say that the United States industry and government achieved its goals at the 2019 World Radio Communication Conference. We wanted to ensure that we had ample spectrum for new and innovative 5G services, and we did. We wanted to protect our satellite and our national security interests, important defense interests, and we did. We wanted to improve the ways that all people across the world could get connected, and we did. It was incredibly hard work, but that hard work was rewarded with great results for the American economy and American national security. And this experience for me personally was so exciting. I led a team of about 130 American private sector and government representatives to this United Nations conference, where almost 150 countries sent delegations. This was in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. Our country assigned to me the full power and authority of our constitutional government to sign this treaty and bind the United States to this international agreement. For all intents and purposes, I was the face of the United States for all other countries. I was the last word on whether the United States would actually agree to a compromise. Thank you. Or whether the United States would play hardball. So what it means, most importantly, is that the United States trusted this 5'1" Philadelphia-born Korean-American woman with negotiating this very important treaty for the benefit of all Americans. Just think about that. Look, the work wasn't easy. Preparing for these negotiations meant climbing a steep learning curve on highly technical engineering issues, acquiring a fluency in international spectrum regulation, and all the while refining a foundational background on all the important public policy priorities and foreign policy priorities that drive the United States economy and industry. And add to this an exhausting travel schedule. I spent most of June, July, and August on the road traveling to Argentina, Zimbabwe, South Korea, and many other places to meet with regulators and ministers to represent the positions and arguments of the United States. Yeah, it was hard work, but that experience was filled with incredibly stirring moments. So meeting the delegation from South Korea, for instance, was incredibly touching. I can still remember how surprised and pleased they were when I greeted them in Korean. 안녕하세요, right? They told me how proud they were that a Korean American could lead the United States delegation to this conference. And I can remember how proud I was to meet this Korean Kazakh delegate at the conference, my new friend, Timofey Kim. He had grown up in Kazakhstan, just as I had grown up in the United States. He spoke Russian fluently, and I spoke English, and we both spoke some pretty bad Korean. But we were really impressed with each other. We both patted each other on the back, thumped each other on the back, really, and praised each other for all of the work that we had put into actually contributing to our new home countries. We had both grown up with a very similar ethos. Our families had taught us to study hard, pray hard, honor our elders. We both respected the sacrifices of our families who had immigrated to give the next generation a better shot at life. And he and I were very proud of our Korean heritage and our respective home countries, where we hope to contribute whatever talents we had to offer. And it is so clear that here in the United States that the Korean Americans have so much to give. In 2005, the United States Senate recognized that Korean Americans have contributed significantly to this country with, quote, the invention of the first beating heart operation for coronary artery heart disease, development of the nectarine, four-time Olympic gold medalist, achievements in engineering, architecture, medicine, acting, singing, sculpture, and writing. It recognized that Korean Americans have thrived in the United States as a result of strong family ties, robust community support, and countless hours of hard work like waves of immigrants before them. And I thought, absolutely, this is exactly right. I absolutely agree. And I thought about those waves of immigrants when I went to Tokyo with a small team of negotiators to discuss our positions with the Japanese government. And across the table from me were these Japanese ministers, mostly men in suits, one woman. I looked around at the American side, and I saw an African-American satellite engineer, a second-generation Hispanic. His parents were Ecuadorian and Peruvian. He's a little shorter than me, actually. A very tall, blonde woman with Irish and German roots, and myself. That's who came to negotiate for the United States. Looking at my team reminded me that diversity in the United States is inevitable. It is a fact of American life. Diversity is here to stay because immigrants have long contributed to this country, and our families came here to contribute and seek a fair chance at a good life. We benefit from the beliefs in America that hard work should be rewarded and injustice should be stopped. These beliefs have been in place for centuries, and these beliefs are embedded in the very genetic code of Americans. And we are richer, we are stronger, we are smarter because our differences in our background. And the fact that you and I are here and able to celebrate Korean American Day together is proof positive that diversity is unstoppable. My mother asked me, as Korean mothers do, whether I was the only one who could do this job, leading the conference. And I told her, Mom, Oma, I'm not the only one who could do this job. But I was the one who was asked to do this job. So when I was asked, I took a leap of faith, the kind of leap that our mothers and fathers, our grandmothers, our grandfathers take when they came to this country. And I plunged into the task at hand, no matter how hard it was. So when you are asked to serve, whether it is the United States government, whether it is the protection of our communities, whether it is the protection of our countries, the Korean American community, or simply your family or your workplace. So when you are asked to serve, I urge you to consider that your background, heritage, and that your identity will give you everything you need to serve truly and to serve wisely. And you will find, just as I have, that it is always an honor and a privilege. So glad to be able to share this day with you. Thank you very much for asking me to come, and thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you. My dad?
Yes.
Oh, Councilman was asking that I also recognize that my father here, who is, he's not here today with us, he's actually living in LA, but he's contributed a long time to this Philadelphia community. My father is Koino Moksanim, who served at Emmanuel Kyoe on 48th and Spruce. My sister is here today as well, and her children, her beautiful children, if you guys don't mind just waving. And we're very glad to be here with you.